Hi there, welcome back to another Out of the Hat Gaming video, and today we are going to be talking about Saints Row the Third Remastered. I almost forgot to say that. First off, I loved this game. It was a whole lot of fun, but I really didn't like the ending a whole lot. It was just kind of weird and didn't really make a whole lot of sense until I went back and chose the other option. The first option that I chose was to save Shaundi, and then I went back and chose to kill Killbane, and it seemed like the kill Killbane option was the worst option you could take because, you know, you want to save your friends, but apparently it was one of those things where if you save Shaundi, the ending is just weird, underwhelming, I guess you can say, and then if you kill Killbane, I don't know, even though it seems a little more sad, it seems like it might have been a better ending. So I apologize if that spoils it for you. I guess I should have warned you before I recorded this line, but whatever. And yes, before all the comments come flooding in, that is my character naked. I did this because I thought it was funny. I am a child at heart. But we are not here to talk about the story. This is not an Injustice video. Thank God, because that last video took me forever to get out of the copyright. Thanks a lot, Warner Brothers. And even after all that time, it is still copyrighted and not monetized. So good thing I'm not actually relying on this as a main job. The dispute was rejected. Speaking of which, to help me go full time, I added a membership block to YouTube. So if you are able to, it would really help me out, and I'll be able to do this more frequently, be able to get out videos in more of a timely fashion if I can do this full time. And the membership program that they've added on YouTube will definitely help me out. So if you're able, go check that out as well. Without further ado, the actual video. Now, we're going to be talking about vehicles and weapons, my two favorite things in any video game. We're going to be talking about 5 weapons and 5 vehicles in Saints Row the Third. These 5 weapons and vehicles are going to be my list of what I believe to be the craziest and or the funniest of this selection. By the time you complete certain missions, you will obtain the ability to use these vehicles and weapons. With another extremely long title, this is Not Your Average Weapons and Vehicles in Saints Row the Third Remastered. And of course, like always, before we begin this video, make sure you like this video. It helps me out a lot, and if you're new, subscribe. That also helps me out a lot. I've got a lot more videos like this to come. Let's start this list off with the number 5 vehicle, the Genki Manipult. This vehicle is different, to say the least, and this vehicle is a 2-seater and is considered a truck. This vehicle is also known as Professor Genki's Super Ballistic Manipult and first appears in Saints Row the Third, but it also appears in Saints Row 4. This little beauty is capable of vacuuming up pedestrians and firing them as human cannonballs across the city. This vehicle is a white Betsy with Professor Genki's large grinning face attached to the front and a mounted cannon on its back. On the side of the vehicle, it's the same grinning face, this time appearing with simply as a logo with the words "Suck It Up" written on the side door. It's a very fragile vehicle and does not take very much damage to actually destroy it. This vehicle originally was available for those who pre-ordered the Saints Row the Third as part of the Professor Genki's Hyper Ordinary pre-order pack. This DLC was later released as a standalone DLC named Funtime Pack. This Super Ballistic Manipult also appears in the Genki Bowl 7 during the Sad Panda Skyblazing activity, where it is used to blast the player back into the sky after they clear off all the mascots off of the rooftop. In this incarnation, the Manipult resembles more of a carriage rather than a truck. This vehicle was actually unlocked for me after I completed the activity that they were added in the remastered version. I never actually played the original, so I'm not really sure how these worked and how they were added for later. So in this case, it actually was not a DLC. I was able to play them as I progressed in the game, and once I completed Genki Bowl 7, it unlocked for me. This vehicle was pretty fun to mess around with and can hold a maximum of 6 pedestrians, but they have to be alive. It won't suck up dead people. Don't suck up dead people. So next up on this list for number 5 for the weapons, the Apocalypse. Weird name, I know, but the Apocalypse gives a devastating special attack coined by Killbane in a portable glove form. Killbane, for those of you that don't know, is the main antagonist of Saints Row the Third, but the weapon is a melee pair of oversized custom fists that do extreme damage, causing human enemies to explode immediately. This weapon is an optional reward in the end of the mission Murder Bowl XXXI, which I'm thinking that means 31, and the other option you can get is to get Killbane's mask, and I chose the gloves. And believe it or not, that's pretty much it for this one. It was pretty short, simple, and sweet. Moving on to number 4, back to the vehicles, the Salem. Is this Hogwarts Legacy or Saints Row the Third? The Salem is a vehicle in the Witches and Wieners DLC for Saints Row the Third and Saints Row 4. And of course, I was playing the remastered version, so this vehicle actually got unlocked for me after completing the mission. We're going to need more guns. The Salem is a flying broomstick that is basically a VTOL aircraft, and it's the only VTOL aircraft that is weaponless. And unfortunately, you still can't use any guns while flying it. And that's about it for this one as well. There's not really a whole lot I can actually say about this vehicle. But now we're going to move on to the other number 4, which is the weapon, and it's going to be the Mollusk Launcher. The Mollusk Launcher is a weapon from the Funtime Pack DLC for Saints Row the Third. This thing sings, explodes, they're cuddly, and they're mind controlling, and they're like these weird octopi type things. I actually did not realize what these things did until the end of the game. I mean, it was actually until I started recording some extra content for this video. I originally thought that they just stood in place with one of these things on their head until you killed them. But no, actually what they do is you launch one of them on their head and they do this weird little dance thing, and then they start to fight alongside you against your enemies. So it's actually pretty useful. Professor Genki's Mollusk Launcher is a bright colored weapon that fires live octopi at targets. The gun combines properties of Satchel Charges and the Annihilator. The octopi fly straight forward, stick to what they hit, and they can be rapidly detonated using the grenade button, which I didn't know that they actually did until I started doing research for this video. Unique to this gun, it also has a mind control ability, as I was explaining. When a human target is hit, they fire bursts out in a weird little dance and then aid you in battle, as long as the octopus remains attached. The mind control does not work on everyone. Co-op players, homies, and brutes are immune, but can still be damaged by detonating the attached octopuses or octopi, octo word that I'm not allowed to say. But this weapon was originally only available to pre-order customers as part of the Professor Genki's Hyperordinary pre-order pack. This pack was renamed Funtime Pack and released as a standalone DLC in February of 2012. But in the remastered version, you can get it from doing some side activities, which I don't remember which one. Moving on to number 3, the vehicle, the ASP. As you can see by the image, prepare yourself, this one is kind of weird. The ASP is a neon green tank made out of blocky pixels, I guess you can call them. It's very similar to the Challenger and the Crusader tanks in terms of handling and its ability to crush other vehicles, although it is noticeably faster to drive than the Crusader. However, the ASP can only seat one driver and does not have a secondary weapon. The cannon, as you can see, fires a big white voxel which explodes, sending out many other voxel type things. This has an unusual effect that if fired at a vehicle with people in it, the first hit will instantly kill everyone inside of the vehicle, but not necessarily destroy it. This makes the weapon handy for hijacking armored vehicles. And the entry animation for this vehicle is that of the other tanks, but because the ASP doesn't actually have an entry hatch, your character just kind of moves through the pixels. This vehicle is only featured in the mission http://deckers.die, in which it is controlled from a top view to fight another tank, and it's unlocked upon completion. And again, that's really all I can say about this one, and this one is just straight out of Pac-Man. For the third weapon for this list, the Shark-O-Matic. The Shark-O-Matic was originally a weapon for the Shark Attack Pack DLC for Saints Row the Third, but in the remastered version, it's available for purchase right at the start, I believe. This weapon is considered a shotgun, and when shot, it covers whatever it is shot at in fish guts. And when it's shot at a person, they enter a panic or look at the stains. Afterward, a shark comes up from the ground and violently devours their victim. However, the shark will not appear if you attempt to use it while aboard an airplane or ship. This weapon does not work on brutes and special homies such as Shandi, and it also does not work on players in co-op. It also does not work in certain areas like aboard the cargo plane in the mission Air Steelport. So if you want to give your enemies a mouthful of fish guts and then get them randomly eaten by a shark, this is the weapon for you. Next on my list for the number 2 vehicle, the Verminator. The Verminator is a vehicle in Genki Bowl 7 DLC for Saints Row the Third and Saints Row 4. And as usual, in the remastered version, Genki Bowl 7 isn't a DLC. They are side activities which include a game called Sexy Kitten Yarngasm, and it's a target. You literally have a target and you have to kill the mouse, but once you complete the first Yarngasm, you'll obtain this ridiculous vehicle. The Verminator is based on the toad in the game, but it of course resembles a mouse, but it's kind of creepy looking at night. Anyways, moving on to number 2, the weapon, the Cyberbuster. This weapon is used in the mission http://deckers.die when infiltrating the Deckers usernet, and is unlocked for the rest of the game world after finishing the mission, just like the ASP. Right off the bat, this weapon has unlimited ammo and cannot be upgraded. Fully charged shots that impact vehicles will instantly kill all the occupants, with the exception of brutes of course, leaving the vehicle relatively undamaged except for the doors. This makes this weapon an excellent anti-air weapon as it kills the pilot and sends the vehicle crashing to the ground. The only real reason this weapon actually made the list for me is because of what it's from. I just thought it was kind of odd that something that is supposed to be used in a virtual world is pulled into reality. Now down for the number 1 vehicle for this list, the Ultor Interceptor. Honestly, I thought this vehicle significantly resembled the Oppressor Mark II in GTA Online. And of course, I know that Saints Row the Third could not have gotten this vehicle from GTA Online because the original Saints Row the Third came out in 2011, so that was way before GTA Online. So this was not a copy for all those people that think Saints Row is a carbon copy of GTA. The Ultor Interceptor is a jet bike VTOL designed by Ultar. Its design and technology were later leased to Stag to develop the Spectre. And that's actually the lore of the game, of like why it's in the game, and this is also referencing the fact that the Ultor Interceptor was originally part of the Saints Row Money Shot XBLA game. This vehicle was originally to have been unlocked after completing the 3rd assassination mission in Saints Row Money Shot. For the remastered version, it's unlocked during one of those side activities, which I think is one of the Money Shot side activities. I just don't remember which one, like the Genki Bowl, whatever. Again, I just don't remember which one, but it's unlocked during one of those. And that was the one professional. And now for my number 1 weapon. This is my favorite because it's hilarious, the Penetrator. As the description in the game reads, this has the absurdity of a sex toy with the lethality of a baseball bat. I didn't even know lethality was a word. The Penetrator is a melee weapon constructed from a super long dildo attached to a handle of a baseball bat. The physics emulate a jelly dildo when attacking or running, which I thought that was the funniest part about this. The Penetrator is available for purchase at Friendly Fire after the medium and hard levels of the Professor Genki's Super Ethical Reality Climax activities, or as a reward for completing the mission, Return to Steelport. And that's about it. It was a bit of an unorthodox list, but hey, this was fun. I really enjoyed this game and totally recommend it for anyone. Thank you for watching this list, but before you go, make sure you check out my new members block on YouTube that I have recently added. It would help me out a lot, and you'll get some perks for becoming a member. Also, join my Discord, consider becoming a patron on Patreon, and follow me on TikTok. I'm going to try to get more videos out on TikTok as well. And all my links, of course, are in the description of every single video I post, but that is it for now. So let's see what I'm playing next with Future Me.
Takes too long, I know. I'm just trying to mix it up real good. Something good, something good, something good. Remember Me from Steam. I think I have to buy that one actually.
For this game, I decided to not spin the wheel and just either do a review or maybe do like a funny commentary to maybe bring a little relevance back to this game. So, okay, cool, bye.